All right, what's up, guys? I'm Demkeys, and it is the 1st of June. Happy Pride Month, by the way. It is the 1st of June, 9:30 in the morning. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the exact date and time. So it's been a while since I've done one of these vlogs. I recorded another vlog, I think. What it must have been a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I don't remember. I doubt I'm gonna be posting that. I don't know if I'm gonna be posting that at this point. But it's been a while since I've posted a vlog, and in a way also a while since I did a vlog. In between, I did some private vlogs because I wanted to how do I say this? I wanted to make vlogs that I had no intention of posting because I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable with my environment, with what I'm doing, and with a bunch of different things. I'm a lot more comfortable with recording it. I should be more specific about that. I'm a lot more comfortable with recording it when I know that I don't intend on ever posting it publicly. For whatever reason, I'm just a lot more comfortable. Like, I don't have to worry about, oh, maybe there's something around here with some sensitive information, or um, maybe there's something around here that I don't necessarily want being shown on camera for whatever reason. Um, Maybe I'm working on something on one of my computers, and it's some sensitive information, and maybe I might accidentally show that or some whatever. Like there's a lot of different examples you can come up with for, like, why I would be uncomfortable with certain things. So like I kind of, when I do these kinds of what happened? I just had it. Words. Okay. When I do these kinds of vlogs, I kind of have to be careful about it. So, like for example, I I wouldn't be comfortable with turning the camera around right now because I haven't really examined my environment to make sure that there isn't anything that I might not want shown on camera. Anyways, so the point is, I did do some personal vlogs as well, and I kind of like that. For some reason, like I kind of like that. Like just making a vlog that I don't intend on posting at all. There's something I like about that. I do intend on posting this, so like you guys are gonna be seeing this on YouTube. Um, but I do also like making like private vlogs. Just videos for myself. Maybe something I can look back on later on. But yeah, today's vlog, I wanted to talk about. So this past week, give me a second. Let me just change my seating position. Okay, this past week, I have been working on something called Google Apps Script. It's pretty convenient. It's a, how do I describe this? It's a good way to create automation, and also in a way add functionality that doesn't exist out of the box with various Google Workspace products. I'm trying to think about like how I would categorize them. So yeah, it would be with various Google Workspace products. Those products being, for example, Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, Google Slides, I think it's called, whatever their PowerPoint, their version of PowerPoint is, stuff like that. There's also, like, you can create. So okay, this is great because, okay, first of all, Google Apps Script is basically JavaScript, but You also have access to various Google services, various Google related features, Google Workspace related features. And it's pretty convenient because it allows you to do a lot of things when you think about it. So, like, one example would be what I worked on this past week. I was working on, so let me just explain the project, okay? Let me just explain the program that I made. What I made is basically a program that keeps track of legal documents. You have legal documents would be stuff like your ID card, your driver's license, your passport, those kinds of legal documents. More importantly, it keeps track of legal documents that have an expiry date on them, legal documents that need to be renewed, once every few months or once every few years or something like that. Um, this I made this app to help somebody with that, who was trying to solve that problem. Like, they would have to keep track of um, records of their employees' legal documents, and it would be kind of hectic for them to keep track of it. They were probably keeping track of it on paper. I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of hectic to keep track of this kind of stuff, unless you have some kind of program that can help you with it. So they asked me if I could make something, and initially I was planning to make it with Python. I was going to use Python and Matplotlib, and I'd been doing a bunch of research. I'd even gotten pretty close to, being done with, not being done, but like I'd gotten a good ways into the project. A good like 50% of it was done, but then I discovered Google Apps Script, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but I mentioned that it's JavaScript, but it's like with more additions. It's not more additions to the language necessarily. It's JavaScript with the standard uh, JavaScript library, but also uh, extra libraries provided by Google that give you access to various Google related things. For example, you can um, I keep branching out. Okay, so I'll explain what when I explain what how I used it, then it'll probably make more sense to you that you have access to various Google related services. So what I did is I set up um, I set up a Google spreadsheet, which is their version of Excel, basically. And in that spreadsheet, I'm able to create records for each of the documents that needs to be kept track of. And then I wrote a script that checks each of those records, and it checks how far away from the expiry date we are. So it compares the current date to the expiry date, and it sees how many days are remaining between these two dates. And I'm also specifying something called warning days. And when the remaining days are less than warning days, or when the remaining days is for each record, when the record is checked, when if uh, just a second. Okay, when the if the remaining days for that specific record is less than warning days, that basically means that the expiry date is approaching, and so we need to warn the user in some way. We need to notify the user in some way. So here's where it becomes. I was about to say here's where it becomes interesting, but like, let me rephrase that. Um, this is what I mean by you can use the various Google services through Google Apps Script. Um, one example is I can read from the Excel sheet um, within the script. I can write the script. I can write a script to read various records from the spreadsheet. I can then perform whatever calculation I need to, and I can also send an email to the user, basically sending an email to myself. So like if I do it in on that person's Google Workspace, for example, I created the Excel sheet, the spreadsheet on their Google Drive, um, then it would be able to send the email to that same user again. I can also send the email to someone else. Like that's an option as well. But sending an email is just, it's so easy with when you're doing it from Google Apps Script, because there's no like authentication process required. Whereas if I was doing it from Python, there would be at least a little bit of authentication required. In this case, all of it is, it's executing within Google's own environment that they've set up. Also, another great thing is we do get a certain amount of usage for free. There's a usage quota that you can use for free, after which you're gonna have to pay. I believe it's a daily quota. So it's initially I think Google Bard had told me that it's a monthly quota, but I think I read in their documentation that I think it's a daily thing. It's a lot more. It's quite sophisticated. You can read up on the usage, the free usage. For my purpose, the amount of free usage that they were giving per day was more than enough. So it's great because, man, I'm so excited about this. There's so many things about Google Apps Script that I want to talk about. So okay, the way that I set it up is I had the spreadsheet. Um, Within the spreadsheet, you can create an app script. So this app script is going to be contained within that spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is, it's going to be the container for the app, basically, for the app script. Because it's a container, so you have a lot more easy access to the spreadsheet. So there's certain advantages for that. I believe Google Docs allows you to do that as well. I think Google Slides or Slide, whatever it's called, that allows you to do it as well. And I think, if I remember right, you can create just a standalone Google Apps script, and that'll have its own advantages and disadvantages, its own limitations. But yeah, dude, this is super cool. This is actually really, really cool. It was fun working on this. It's a pretty decent automation tool, and the fact that we are able to run this within Google Drive itself, I don't know, man. It's kind of cool for me because like I prior to this I didn't even know that Google Apps Script was a thing. I saw a tweet by someone who was trying to automate something, and I noted. Well, they asked. I forgot who they asked. I think they had asked Google Bard or ChatGPT, one of the two, and one of those LLMs gave this as a suggestion. Not a suggestion. It basically wrote down the entire thing that this person had to do. Um, and one of those things was creating an app script. And then I was like, okay, let's do some research on this. Like, what is this? How can I use it? Once I read up on it, I was like, dude, holy shit, I should be using this. This is like so much simpler. In fact, okay, yeah. So I shared the script that I wrote. I shared it on GitHub. Um, just look up Demkeys GitHub on Google, and you should be able to find it. If I remember, I might put it in the description of the video. But honestly, it shouldn't be that hard to find my GitHub. In fact, you know what? Even if I forget to put it in the description, um, this video is going up on my second channel, and on my second channel, there's usually a link to my first channel. So if you go to my first channel, which is Abhinav, a.k.a. Demkeys, in the socials section, you should find my GitHub link. I think I don't remember if I've put it up there. I've definitely put it up on my Twitch. I don't remember about YouTube. But yeah, dude, you can just Google Demkeys GitHub, and it should pop up. It should pop up. But yeah, dude, I mean, I'm I don't know. I'm excited about this. I'm not gonna be using it anymore. It was just this one project, and then maybe in the future, if I have some other use for it, I might look into it again. But it's kind of cool, dude. Check it out, especially if you know even just basic JavaScript. Dude, believe it or not, this was like one of the rare occasions that I had to touch JavaScript. I don't use JavaScript at all. I've learned JavaScript like in the past, and it's one of those languages that like it's not that hard to learn, and especially like if you are like me and you've been doing programming for how many ever years, you know programming concepts pretty well. And if you know programming concepts pretty well, if you once you learn programming concepts, then learning any other language, it's not really that hard. Or at least picking up the basics of any other language, it's usually not that hard. You should be able to pick up the basics pretty quick because at that point it basically just becomes about learning the syntax of the language. Um, Oh, I just realized my thumb might have been coming in the camera every now and then. Okay, anyways. At that point, it just becomes about learning the syntax of the language and the various features that it has. So it's. I don't know why I was talking about this. Well, yeah, okay, so if you, um, if you know basic JavaScript, you you won't really have a hard time with Google Apps Script. In fact, looking into Google Apps Script and working on this project, it gave me a chance to do more research on JavaScript and learn about some extra things in JavaScript that I didn't necessarily know about before. I use JavaScript like very, very rarely. It's just not one of those things that I use. My daily driver languages are C Sharp and Python, and I do like a tiny bit of Rust. I do a bunch of shader coding, so that's more C. Like it's HLSL, which is a C like language. So these are like these are the languages that I usually use. And so JavaScript is just not it's just not a language that's that important to me. So I don't really use it. The last time I had to use JavaScript, I'm trying to remember when was the last time because I remember if you've ever watched a live stream and you've seen something called Nightbot. Nightbot is it's a bot that um, it has various features. You can program it to do stuff like you can add custom commands. You can add time-based commands, time-based messages. You can set up like spam filters and stuff. There's a lot of features. One of the features with the custom commands is that you can write custom JavaScript to do whatever kind of anything that requires logic building. So let's say you wanted to. In my case, I just as an example, I made a rock paper scissors game for a friend of mine. So I made that as a chat command. So people in the chat can play with Nightbot. But yeah, okay. So my point is, um, Nightbot is one of the few instances where I have to use JavaScript. I'm trying to remember if there was any other instance where I had to use JavaScript. Like prior to this, there might have been one. I'm just not able to remember it right now. Just a second. I have my computers in front of me, and after a couple of minutes of inactivity, the screens go off. The one on top, it's not just the screen going off. After a couple of seconds, it'll actually log out. So then I'll have to log back in. So I have to make sure the screen doesn't go off. Otherwise, well, I'll have to log back in. But yeah, okay. So this vlog has gone on long enough. It's about to be 20 minutes and like 30 seconds. Now I'm carrying on research of a lot of the other stuff that I was doing. So I was doing research on, dude, there's so many things I'm doing research on. I kind of have to like prioritize them. I definitely want to get back into doing CUDA stuff. but I don't want to get too sidetracked with it because the last time I went into it, I got sidetracked with GPU architecture, doing research on GPU architecture, and I kind of just like lost, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks in that. I didn't really lose. I mean, I got to learn stuff, but the downside of that was I didn't get any of my work done because I was doing a whole lot of research. So yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked again. I don't want to get distracted again. Um, but I do want to get back into CUDA, especially since now I know that you are able to launch CUDA kernels even from Python code. You're not limited to just C++. I was about to say C sharp. You're not just limited to C++. You can also launch it from Python. That's why it's super interesting to me. You won't be writing the CUDA code in Python. You're probably still going to be writing CUDA C++, but that's going to be the device code. You can launch it from Python. The host code, so to speak, is going to be you can write it in Python. You're not limited to just C++. That's something I've been doing research on. I've been doing research on the Unity job system, um, because like I wanna learn how that works and maybe make a tutorial on it. Actually, I kind of want to make a tutorial on that as well. But for some of the projects that I'm working on, learning about the Unity job system is definitely going to be helpful for me. I've also been doing research on neural networks. Man, neural networks, it's such an interesting topic. It's such an interesting concept. I'm not going to go into it right now because I'm probably going to end up talking for another like 30 minutes or something. But I've been doing research on that. I definitely want to get back into my research. Well, not get back. I want to continue my research because I got back into it already like a month or two back. Um, Once LLMs started popping up, then I was like, yeah, dude, now I probably should carry on with this research because like in the past, I've tried to get into machine learning, and I got up to a certain extent, um, but then I kind of ended up getting distracted each time because I would try to implement the methods myself, and in doing that, I would end up spending how many ever days or weeks doing research on those methods, and then I would just get distracted with something else, and the ML stuff would get put to the side. Um, but yeah, I've been trying to carry on my research with ML stuff as well. This includes neural networks. What else? What else? There's some other stuff that I've been doing research on. I found out that Tally has its own development language. It's a fairly high level language, but it allows you to do quite a bit. Um, I don't know what the extent of that quite a bit is yet, but I know it is quite a bit because I read the documentation, and I've been learning about that as well. I'll be using that to help someone out with something. So I figured, um, learning how to automate certain things, it can help them automate certain repetitive tasks, and it gives me an excuse to learn something new, which I'm always up for it. I'm glad that they actually provided a development environment. Their language is called TDL. I think the D stands for development, so it's Tally Development Language. I think I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's another thing I've been doing research on. Um, as it stands right now, the stuff that I'm trying to focus on, man, there's so many things I'm trying to focus on. Holy shit. Um, oh, I've been making progress with my VTubing tech for my Twitch streams. I'm building my own custom VTubing tech, and the other day I did a stream where I intended to do some C sharp socket programming, but I got sidetracked because I started getting ideas for various components that I can add to my VTubing tech. It's kind of a stack. It's not one program. It's multiple components working together that are going to be spread across multiple systems, just so I can spread the load um, across the different systems, and it's not all running on the same streaming system and overloading the system. So yeah, I kind of I got distracted, and I basically spent that entire stream, which was maybe 2 hours, I think, or 2.5 hours. I don't remember. I spent that entire stream just brainstorming ideas for how I wanted to set up my VTubing tech. But yeah, I'm excited for that as well because I have a lot of stuff that I'm going to be implementing in that. Um, check out my Twitch. I think I'll add the link in the description. I'm trying to stream a lot more often, and for the most part, I've been successful. I'm doing a couple streams a week. I wanna make it more frequent. It's just sometimes it just doesn't work out. The timing doesn't work out for me, and sometimes I'm just busy. But yeah, dude, I don't want to make this vlog anymore longer, so I'm gonna end the vlog here. It is I don't know why I'm adding the date and time at the end of the vlog, but I kind of want to add it. So it is the 1st of June, 2023, and it is 9:57 a.m. I'm Demkeys, and that's it for today's vlog. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.